Alright, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about what is the food like in basic training. You probably have heard horror stories about this, saying it's terrible or it's not good for you, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you heard, I'm going to tell you the absolute truth from my personal experience. I do have a good palate, you could say, for food, so I could kind of give you a good gist of what would taste good and what would not. However, these are preferences, but I'm just going to give you the real honest truth. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about how many meals do you eat during basic training in a typical day. Because some people, they might eat 1 to 2 meals a day, some people 3-4 meals a day, so it's kind of important to know how many meals you'll be eating during basic training. So there's 3 meals you eat. 3 meals you eat during basic training. You have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then for breakfast, you're gonna have your breakfast foods. So your cereals, juice, milk. You could drink water. You'll have your eggs, bacon, sausage, pancakes, stuff like that, breakfast food. And then dinner, it's going to be a little different. For dinner, you might have some protein, so whether it be chicken or whatnot, and then you might have your rice or mashed potatoes and like some veggies and stuff like that. So you eat 3 times during basic training, 3 meals during basic training in a typical day. Alright, so now that you know that there are 3 meals during basic training throughout your day, and sometimes it can be different, right? Why I said on a typical day is because not always you're going to eat at the DFAC. That's kind of like when you're close to the barracks and whatnot. Sometimes there are MREs, which are meal ready to eat, and that's going to be whenever you're doing training somewhere else. Maybe you're at the range, and instead of taking you guys back to the DFAC, they'll just give you MREs so you can eat there while you guys are doing training. And then also there are hot A's, and that's pretty much when the cooks have mermites and actually bring chow to you, whatever the case may be, whether you're doing training, whether the DFAC's closed, or whatever the case may be. It's pretty much just food from the base or from the DFAC, packed up and sent to you guys to eat, so you have a hot chow for the morning instead of MREs. And that's pretty much that could be eggs, bacon, pancakes, stuff like that, some juice or water. That's pretty much breakfast. For dinner, sometimes it'll be like spaghetti, chili mac, like sometimes it's good, yakisoba, but when you're hungry, honestly I think anything tastes good, especially when you're like super hot, you're exhausted, you're tired from all the training and whatnot. So those are hot A's, but usually you're in the DFAC. And breakfast was actually pretty good. I mean, it was alright. They had eggs, egg whites at the DFAC. There's eggs, bacon, sausage. They'll have biscuits and gravy, and cereal. So you do eat a lot of food, and sometimes you just have to eat really fast because you do not have a lot of time to eat. So I would just eat as fast as you can. And then lunch, dinner, I mean, you're pretty much getting protein, carbs, and veggies, right? So whether it be chicken, sometimes they'll have steak, I think. Can't remember. Steaks are like chicken wings. I think it just depends what phase you're in or whatnot, but I mean, it's pretty decent. I mean, the chicken sometimes super dry. It's not the best, right? It's not the best food. Sometimes the eggs are watery, so you're getting it sounds good, but it's really not the best. But you just make the best of it. So that's pretty much what the food is like, what it tastes like, the different kinds of foods, whether it's DFAC, the MREs, or hot A's, right? So those are the different types of food you eat during basic training. And just remember that it's not IHOP cooking it, or it's not Red Lobster or something. It's decent, right? It gets you through your day pretty much. So and yeah, so that's that. Alright, so that's what the food's like and the different types of food you have during basic training. Now I want to give you guys my experience on what it's like to actually sit in basic training, in the chow hall, in the DFAC, and eating, and what the experience is like, and kind of how it is. So obviously there's drill sergeants in there, so everything's super strict. As soon as you walk in, you're staying at the parade rest and then position of tension when you're ready to move forward, one step at a time. Obviously there's no talking. You can't be like wandering everywhere around looking at people doing some goofy stuff, and if you do, you get smoked, right? Or they'll send you in the back of the line, which is horrific because you really don't have that much time to eat. Typically you get about 15 minutes during basic training to eat, but that's generous. That's being generous, right? They could really give you 5 minutes or 2 minutes to eat and tell you to get up and get out, right? It's that simple. You don't have control over that. So if you're eating, I wouldn't make a lot of noise, make a lot of chaos going on over there. So yeah, you get 15 minutes to eat, and like I said, you're in parade rest or position of attention. Then once you get your tray, you got to make sure you're you got to go step peel, which is like moving your feet like side to side, until you get all your food on your tray. And then once you sit down, there's really not that much talking. Once you get later into basic training, you have more freedom. So blue phase, you'll be able to start talking with people and like kind of enjoying your food instead of rushing to eat it. But in the beginning, you're gonna be rushed. You're gonna be rushed. You're not gonna have much time, and you're gonna be hungry. So eat as much as you can, as fast as you can, because every calorie counts. So that's that. There's no talking. It's super strict, and it's a limited time. And as far as that's pretty much it. As far as like eating at the DFAC, in my experience, it's just a strict, controlled environment. But they do, let you eat, and there is a variety of options to eat. Whether if you don't like meat or whatever, there's a lot of bread you could get. There's always like a salad bar with different things. So don't worry about not having enough food to eat, or a variety of options, because it is there. I mean, like I said before, it's not the best, but it gets the job done. And also when you're just super hungry, anything really tastes good at that point. I'd probably eat crickets or something if I was hungry enough, so that's that. And then without further ado, if you guys like this video or have any questions, comments, or concerns about basic training, the military, or anything in general, just drop it down in the comment box below, and I'll make sure to get back to you guys as soon as possible. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you are new and you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you guys, and peace.